After walking through this exercise with the prospect, he said, I've been retired for 5 years. Why am I just learning about this now? So today I want to walk you through the exact same exercise. And by the time we're done with this video, you'll understand why this changes everything about how you think about retirement planning and why it will make your retirement even better. If I haven't met you yet, I'm Dave Zoller. I'm owner of Streamline Financial with Tim, Luke, and Sean, and we've been helping people retire for the last 16 years at Streamline. Now, before we jump into your specific numbers and investment strategies, I want you to think bigger for a moment. At Streamline, we believe that there's 4 types of assets that everyone manages, whether they realize it or not. And most financial advisors only talk about one of these, but the most fulfilled retirees, they think about all 4. So let me walk through them with you. I learned this from Ron Bullis at LifeWorks Advisors, and this has been a very powerful exercise for clients. So here's the first one. And this is financial assets. It's what most people think about, right? Your 401k, your IRAs, savings accounts, maybe some real estate or stocks. This is the tangible stuff. And yes, this matters and you need this money to live. But here's what's interesting. There are 3 other assets that are very important here. The second one is human assets. This includes your faith, your health, relationships, your family, character, your time. Essentially, this is what makes you, you. Think about it this way. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, or if your relationships are broken, if you've lost a sense of purpose, would that really be wealth, or would you really be wealthy? The third asset is your intellectual assets. So these are your skills, your wisdom, experience, everything you've learned over your career and your life. These are the insights you've gained. And this is huge, especially for those who are approaching retirement and they think, well, if they think I'm done contributing, that's not true. Your wisdom and your experience, those are incredibly valuable assets moving forward. And then fourth is community assets. This is how you show up in the world. Could be your church involvement, maybe your neighborhood connections or volunteer work or helping others. It's your legacy and your impact. And a lot of people get to retirement and they feel isolated because they never invested in this form of wealth. Now, here comes the exercise that changes everything. This is what I want you to think about. If you could only pass on 2 of these 4 asset classes or asset types to the people that you care about most, and you had to give up the other 2 forever, which 2 would you choose? So keep 2 and drop 2. And the 2 that you keep, you'll pass on to those you care about most. There's really no right or wrong answer here. So take your time or maybe pause the video here and choose the 2. If you want to put the 2 in the comments below, that would be great. I'd love to read them. But here's what's fascinating. What Ron and I both found is that less than 10% of the people that do this exercise choose financial assets as one of their top 2. Most people will choose human assets or intellectual and community assets. But here's the unfortunate part. If you walked into any financial advisor's office or met with an advisor, what they'd spend 90% of their time talking about, it's just your financial assets. They'd pull up charts and graphs and talk about the allocation and fees and market performance, but they'd completely ignore the other 3 forms of wealth or the other 3 assets that you just told me matters most to you. So here's the real question we should be asking. How do we use your financial assets to invest in the projects and the things that actually matter the most to you? How do we make sure that your money serves your human assets? Or how does your financial plan support your intellectual assets? And how does that enable your community assets? This is why our approach at Streamline is different. We don't just ask how much money do you need? We ask what kind of life do you want your money to make possible? We don't just focus on growing your portfolio, that's important, but we also focus on aligning your financial resources with your deeper values and goals. Because here's the truth. Money's just a tool. The question is, what are you trying to build with that tool? If this resonated with you, hit that like button and then maybe share it with someone who's along the same journey as you, thinking about retirement. This perspective can completely change how they approach their planning. And then take a look at these videos here to help you even more along your retirement journey. Take care.